Somebody just spotted Skynet from Terminator.
Britney Spears was on the Bush payroll to basically create diversions and pull attention away from Bush's presidential corruption and scandal controversy.
Still fully intact bricks in
Wow.
fully melted. Like
What?
that one right there.
Well, hello, Campbell here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. And yeah, the world's still pretty strange out there, so let's take a look.
Amazon has launched a new payment system allowing you to pay with your palm across Whole Foods stores. The new system, called Amazon One, lets customers assign a card to their unique palm signature, which is then sent to a secure cloud area and stored. Customers will then be able to pay for their goods by simply hovering the palm of their hand over a palm reader to pay. According to Amazon, it offers a contactless alternative to app and card payments.
Get ready, it's here. Come on, man. Hey! Are we really supposed to be excited about this? Because she seemed very happy. Yep, I was there, guys. Recently. I seen it. It's there. Now, don't get me wrong. Whole Foods has some good food. I've been buying there for a while now. They got some good stuff. But this, I'm not sure if this is some good stuff. Remember? We all knew that this day will come. Well, guess what? It's already here. And the fact that people could pay with their hand, this is incredible. No need to even carry around your wallet anymore. Who's gonna go get it? Huh? Who's gonna do it? Because people are saying that there might be a day and time where we all will need that just to get food. This is what people are saying, but I don't believe that because people stay saying things that are not true. Why was she so happy? She was so happy about it. She said it was so cool. You know why? Because it is. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I'm just letting people know that you could now pay for your groceries with your hand. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think about this. I'm out.
Yes, well, would you pay with your hand? Would you use the palm reader? That was an interesting little term, wasn't it? But this, of course, I mean, this has been going on probably about a decade. There's definitely been people who have had chips implanted. You know, there's clips around of them opening their doors and all this kind of stuff with their hand. Of course, this ties into the Christian narrative of Mark of the Beast. So what do you think it is? Would you join? Because, you know, I've said it before, they're going to keep pushing and pushing, you know, right, the Elites, because they don't know how not to. That all they can do is follow their script. So that lady was happy, and there's going to be lots of people who are going to be, you know, very happy and think that this is amazing technology and the future and all this, without realizing that they're starting to turn themselves into cyborgs, putting electronics into their flesh and blood body, which, you know, transhumanism, right? This is the road they want to go down, but they will fail. This will not work because there's too many of us onto it now, but there will definitely be people who take it up. So let me know your thoughts in the comments.
We're now inside Beastland and it looks absolutely incredible, and we've noticed that there is a countdown over here for some reason, so they're saying get to the stage. We need to go. We need to find out what's going on. There's a little meet and greet area over here. We don't actually recognise anyone yet though.
Something massive is waking up at Beast Arena. You know, you got the wristband, and when you play the games,
the barriers are open and we're following everyone. I don't know where to, but someone. So there's all the money. I can't remember what the top prize was, but there's about 300,000 reals in one of these. So we headed through to the Beast Arena and there was so many different games that you could take part in. This one I was definitely not giving a go, the bungee jumping, but it was so much fun and you can buy a wristband with all the games included. Or if you simply just want to enter and enjoy Beastland in the whole experience, then it's only 25 SAR per person. They had so many merch shops around with all of the Feastables and limited edition merch, which was actually very affordable. As well as all the games that are inside Beast Arena, which are inspired by the show, there was also carnival games, rides, and so many food stalls. It was so much fun, and just being here was such a good vibe. I definitely recommend checking it out before it ends in 45 days.
Beastland. Is there a theme here? Mr. Beast, right? The world's biggest YouTuber. God knows how many subs he's got now. Beastland, I think that lady said it was only open for 45 days, so it looks like it's just a temporary thing. It's in Dubai. Would you go? What do you think about this? It's a bit of a, interesting name, but of course, Mr. Beast, right? But what do you think about Mr. Beast? Like, do you think that he is just a kid who happened to become the world's biggest YouTuber? Or do you think that, he was put up there because now we have social media, like the stars are on social media now, right? So of course they're going to control that as well. But let me know your thoughts. Is he controlled opposition or is he just, the world's best YouTuber? And of course, guys, make sure you give me a like, get this video out there. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, and definitely leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts.
So this crazy experiment shows you exactly how negative people could ruin your life and make you think it's your fault. So she sucks at shooting free throws. They gave her 10 shots and she missed all 10. But here's where it gets wild. After some time, they blindfold her and the crowd cheers as if she's made the blindfolded shots. This gave her confidence. After missing 10 in a row, look what happens. She starts to make shots consistently. The only thing that changed is that now she believed. But check out what happens when they introduce negative reinforcement. Homie right here, he was nice with the free throws. Matter of fact, he hit 9 out of 10. They also blindfold him, but this time, the crowd puts negativity in his mind.
You can do it, guys?
And the doubt already starts creeping in. They continue the negative reinforcement, booing him. And all of a sudden, he can't hit a shot. In both instances, they had the same body and the same talent. The only thing that changed was the energy. Don't ever get it twisted. Negativity is not harmless. It's just like a poisonous gas. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it won't hurt you. So you need to get away from those people. Like your life depends on it. Because real talk, it just might.
Yes, well, we become like the 5 people that we spend most time with, right? We're the average. So who are you spending time with? Do you have negative people in your life, and why? If you do, like that really, it affects you. And we have to, Jim Rohn had a saying, every day stand guard at the door of your mind. And it's a good saying because we need to be very aware of what we are letting into our mind, because whatever comes in gives us thoughts, right? And guess what? Our thoughts become our reality.
Britney Spears was on the Bush payroll to basically create diversions and pull attention away from Bush's presidential corruption and scandal controversies. It begins in 2002. Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake break up. That same year, Britney was actually seen canoodling with a man named Karl Rove, who was a senior Bush administrator. People wonder whether that canoodle is where this connection was made, or maybe it was his idea. And again, part of this conspiracy theory is that Britney might have no idea that she was selected for this. So in 2004, the Bush administration blew the cover of a CIA agent named Valeria Plame. And all this was going down. It was causing a lot of bad press. A week before the hearing over this scandal went down, Britney married her childhood friend, Jason Alexander. What's so fascinating about this Las Vegas wedding is the annulment that happened 50 hours later. right? It created this huge stir, but it ended up meaning nothing. 2 years later, Bush's approval rating was at an all-time low. And this was really bad because there were midterm elections coming up. And suddenly, no one was talking about Bush because Britney Spears was seen driving in Malibu with her infant son on her lap. This basically completely overshadowed that Bush's approval rating was so low. Suddenly, instead, the nation was debating lap infant protocol. Then, November 6, 2006, the day before the midterm election, Britney Spears announced her split from Kevin Federline. February of 2007, Bush announces the reformation of Al-Qaeda. That same night, Britney snuck out of rehab, shaved her head, and attacked a paparazzi vehicle with an umbrella. No one was talking about Al-Qaeda.
Everybody was talking about Britney for the next year.
Then, March 14th, 2007, Attorney General Alberto Gonzales admits that mistakes were made in the firing of 8 U.S. attorneys who didn't seem loyal enough to Bush. That same day, a story is leaked about Britney's rehab romance. Around 2008 is when Britney is essentially silenced. Bush was not going to be president anymore, and people suspect that she was no longer needed as a scapegoat.
Interesting, right? What do you think about that? Obviously, Britney's had a few issues. A lot of talk about the M and the K and the R, Ultra. What are they doing, right? And with all these stars, but the main thing is, they always will put up these stories to grab our attention, to keep our eyes off what they're actually doing, right? It's the old magician's trick, right? Watch this hand, not what's happening behind my back. So what do you think? Is there any truth to this? Do you think that this is what they're doing with stars in general, right? Because most that we hear about stars is all the drama, right? Like, oh my God, this, what's happening in their personal life, and people flock to those stories and kind of don't see what's really going on.
Many people have heard that the system is rigged, but many people have never understood how the system is rigged. These are the 3 documentaries that I'm going to recommend for you that explain this subject matter in detail. Number 1 is The Hidden Secrets of Money by Mike Maloney. This is a 10-part series, worth your watch. Part 2 is The History of Central Banking and the Enslavement of Mankind. This is a documentary that you'll find on YouTube, a 4-hour documentary, worth your watch. Number 3 is The Europa Last Battle. This is a documentary that is banned on YouTube, but you can only find it on X. I'll leave the link in the description. These are documentaries that are worth your time. So, you watch them, let me know what you think.
Well, have you seen any of those? I've seen Europa, The Battle for Europa. That is available on Rumble, by the way. Just type in Europa and you should find it. And the other one's about, the creation of money and the banking system. I don't think I've seen those ones. I've seen, quite a few, docos and things on that. But this is their main control weapon, right? Which we're seeing at the moment is money, the money system. And we understand now that it's all fake. It's all, none of it's backed, right? It's fiat currency. It was all, the Federal Reserve in America was all instigated from Jekyll Island back in 1933. All this stuff, right? And now, of course, they're using it with crypto, right? They're trying to change the currency so it's more trackable, more traceable. And as we saw in the first video, they want that to be in your hand, right? They don't want you to have a wallet. They want you to become part robot so you can use it. And that way, they control everything. They know everything you do, everything you spend. And well, we know that the government are just really a pack of thieves. Taxation is not legal. It's fraud. And pretty much wherever you live, if you go through the documents, you'll find out that you don't have to pay tax, right? It's definitely true in Australia, and I know it's true in other countries. And this is what happens. This is why they want to control the money system, because they essentially want it all, right? All they really want us to do is work and keep their system going until they bring in the head parasite, I think. It seems like that is their plan. But again, they're going to fail.
What if I told you the son of one of Africa's most powerful leaders is rising from the ashes, and the same Western powers that destroyed his father are now terrified he'll take back everything they stole? Right now, across Libya's burning deserts, a ghost that was supposed to stay buried forever is walking again. His name is Saif al-Islam Gaddafi, the son of Muammar Gaddafi, the man NATO killed in 2011. For over a decade, the world thought his story ended in a prison cell, but he never left, he never ran, and now he's back with one clear message: I'm coming for what's mine. What happens next in Libya could flip the entire balance of power in North Africa, and the West knows it. Here's what nobody's telling you. The intervention in Libya was never about democracy or saving civilians. It was about destroying the one African leader who dared to challenge Western control over the continent. And now his son is threatening to finish what his father started. Let me take you back to 2011, because you need to understand what Libya was before NATO turned it into a war zone. Under Muammar Gaddafi, Libya was the richest nation on the entire continent. The United Nations ranked Libya 53rd in the world for human development, first in Africa. Libyans had free healthcare from birth to death. Education was completely free all the way through university. When you got married, the government gave you $50,000 to buy your first home. Gas cost 14 cents per liter. The literacy rate was 88%. Life expectancy reached 74 years. Women had rights that still don't exist in many Arab countries today. Here's the part that'll blow your mind. Fewer Libyans lived below the poverty line than people in the Netherlands. A North African country had less poverty than one of Europe's wealthiest nations. But Gaddafi had one fatal problem that the West could never forgive. He refused to bow down. For over 40 years, Gaddafi ruled Libya with complete independence from Western control. He kicked out American and British military bases, nationalized the oil companies, and used that oil money to lift millions of his people out of poverty. But his biggest crime in Western eyes was that he wanted Africa to be truly independent. By 2011, Gaddafi had set aside $30 billion to create an African central bank and an African monetary fund. This would have freed the entire continent from depending on the IMF and the World Bank. Imagine African countries controlling their own resources, their own money, their own future, without needing permission from Washington or Brussels. The West couldn't allow that to happen. When the Arab Spring protests erupted in Tunisia and Egypt in early 2011, those same winds blew into Libya, but something was different here. Unlike Tunisia and Egypt where millions flooded the streets, Libya's protests were small and concentrated mainly in Benghazi. Many analysts still argue there was never a genuine mass uprising against Gaddafi across the whole country. But NATO didn't need proof, they needed an excuse. On March 19, 2011, NATO began bombing Libya. They called it humanitarian intervention and said they were protecting civilians. The UN Security Council passed a resolution claiming they would just enforce a no-fly zone, but within days, NATO wasn't just stopping Gaddafi's planes, they were actively bombing his forces and helping rebels win battles. Over 7 brutal months, NATO flew more than 26,000 combat missions and dropped thousands of bombs on a country that had never attacked them. They bombed government buildings, they bombed Gaddafi's home and killed his grandchildren, and they even bombed the great man-made river, Libya's water supply system, then bombed the factory that made the pipes to repair it. They wanted to break Libya's back, and on October 20th, 2011, they got exactly what they wanted.
Yeah, Gaddafi, did you know that side of the story? Like they said, he would not have the World Bank, right? The world or the parasite-controlled central bank. There's been a few other countries like that, right? Including Iraq and North Korea, I believe, still doesn't have one. There was a few other countries that basically got taken out, right? That's the main thing because they just want to control everything. But you saw what Gaddafi was doing for his people, using the oil money, right? The country's wealth to lift up the country's people, right? He was looking after them. He was educating them and helping them with houses and all this stuff. And he actually was, more than halfway through building the biggest water facility, basically getting water all through his country again, right? Because Libya is, northern Africa. It's in the Sahara pretty much. And he was getting that sorted out as well. And he was going to help other nations. And of course, when they attacked, they blew that up. They went and systematically destroyed it all. And then they destroyed the factories that could repair it, right? And this is the same gameplay. This is what happened so many times. And again, this is all to do with the money, right? Controlling the money. They got to control the money because that controls the people. And this has happened many times before. And if you check out Europa, the last battle, you'll see that that happened as well back in World War II to a certain country that we're not really supposed to talk about.
This video is from San Francisco.
A stamped brick with ARR, and we know that what used to be there said T, car. It's TCARR. Look at this.
Huh.
You can see that there are still fully intact bricks in It's
Whoa.
fully melted. Like
What?
that one right there.
Mm-hmm. What is that?
Much of it is melted beyond recognition, but
That's
a
what
lot
it
of
is.
it, like this, is still obviously a wall. Now,
Bro.
how old is this tree?
Right.
How long ago did this happen?
That's in San Francisco. I gotta go check it out.
Yes, definitely. You
all
need
brick,
to. Get the
and
drone.
It's all melted down like as if it was candle wax hit with a
Whoa.
torch.
That is what that looks like, dude.
Rolling down channels.
Holy
Channels of
mackerel.
melted bricks. Like right there. Look at that. Still bricks sitting there, and that's the same kind of brick that this is, that's stamped.
This is the evidence because there is a case of partial preservation of what was there. You know, because if you didn't find the bricks, you didn't see the little details of bricks in there, somebody would just say, oh, well, wind and water did this over 1 million years, right? They would say, oh, it was 15 billion years caused rocks to look like this. No, it took about probably 10 seconds of like the hottest thing you could possibly imagine, just burning something, and it literally melted like a candle melts. That's what you see there. Like, what happened in our recent past? I think it's very fascinating. When I really got curious about the western part of the United States and like stuff like the Valley of Fire, in my mind, I was thinking of the days of Noah, maybe. I was thinking maybe like sometime around like the days of Jesus, like thousands of years ago. But when you find stamped bricks in there, so that means there was a brick factory that made bricks, right? You know, so obviously I think even like the earliest brick factories were like in we're told, the mid 19th century. They had factories that made bricks en masse. So when did this thing melt like that?
The truth is out there. Bit of meltology for you. Does anyone live in San Francisco? And have you seen this? Let me know in the comments. Have you seen anything similar to this? Because there is stuff like this all over the place. As with that one, most of it's just, you know, overgrown and it's not the kind of thing that people see. That one was on the side of a highway by the looks of it. And, you know, they just tell us, like you said, it's all millions and millions of years of erosion and wind and water and all this crap. But, you know, when you look into it, you'll find that this reset happened pretty recently. And he's right. When you look into the production of bricks, you know, all the mid 1800s in Australia, they didn't have proper brick factories that could produce, you know, a lot of kiln-baked bricks until almost 1900. Yet we have all these buildings all over the place made of brick that they tell us were built in the mid 1800s and before. Where were the bricks coming from, right? So what do you think about the reset and the meltology? What do you think happened? Let me know in the comments.
All right, fam. Today is, I think, November 8th. Here's our random page for the day. Mystery of Bismarck's success. He was trapped, or why and by whom were all the czars killed? Oh, hell yeah, we're doing this one. Okay. L. Rothschild continues his revelations. There has been no friendship between the court of St. Petersburg and my family. No, it was a perpetual assault against the Romanovs, these fair angels, as the people of Europe called them. And that is why the czars have all been exterminated. Quote, the world is governed by very different personages from what is imagined by those who are not behind the scenes. We read this already. Explains Sidonia Rothschild, and develops his main idea that a superior race, bluish, ought to govern the world, and that the bluish mind exercises a vast influence on the affairs of Europe. That is why Europe is going to destruction. Indeed, too vast, and not only in Europe. If one can believe the words of Bernard M. Baruch, a blue, who spat in the face of the American Senate, that he, and not the American president, was the most powerful man. We know that there's one of these that is the most powerful man right now in our government. Or let me rephrase that. This is not my government. In that governance. And senators seem to find it quite normal. Same as now. The Declarations of Sidonia were published by Disraeli in 1844, and no Britisher had understood that it was L. Rothschild's confessions betrayed by the Blue Disraeli until, in the fall of 1920, my 16 large articles appeared in the plain English of London. Since the American Revolution is constantly growing and becomes deadly in... Oh, wait a minute. Since the American Revolution, the Blues have also been the real rulers of America. Wow. And their power is constantly growing and becomes deadly in every sense, as the Blues themselves confirm it. Nobody knows where this sinister band of Rothschilds, through Disraeli, Bismarck, Gamberley, Gambetta, and similar Blues, would have brought the world, but for the most Christian, patriotic, and energetic resistance of the Romanovs, and partly of the great Britisher, Mr. H. Gladstone. Sir Henry Lucy, of the Westminster Gazette on September 22, 1920, describes that Disraeli, on January 20th, 1835, met Gladstone, who had not until then even noticed the blue. They met again at a dinner in 1850, Gladstone being particularly agreeable. He did not then realize what a hyena he had met, but he knew well who was behind Disraeli. If we ignore the existence of this concerted Judeo-Mongol attack and neglect to examine the nature and history of the forces by which Christian civilization is now threatened, we deserve all that the international revolutionists are working to bring about. Note that the French Revolution of 1789 was all prepared at the Great Masonic Congress in 1782 at Wilhelmsbad, then a palace of the Landgrave of Hesse, managed by Amschel Rothschild. This Congress decided the death of the three best Christian monarchs, who later on were foully murdered. 144.
Yes, the hidden hand of the Blues, right? The small hats. And this is obviously going off in the USA right now. It sort of kicked off with the whole Charlie Kirk thing, right? It's all unraveling for them. I think that psyop has gone bad for the bluish people. But it's always been the same game plan, right? At least in this cycle that we're in since the last reset, they really are the hidden hand, right? They're behind everything. They infiltrate and they're at the controls, right? So government, mind control, is not run by the people that we're told it's run by, right? All this election stuff, it's just to give us the illusion that we have choice. But we don't have choice, right? Thanks, George Carlin. And, they talked about the Romanovs as well in Russia and the whole Bolshevik revolution, which was all, contrived again by the small hats. And they ended up murdering that whole family, right? We've all heard the story, along with 20 million plus people, men and women, all went. And then the same in the French Revolution, right? And of course, revolution, it just means to go around again. That's all revolution means, right? To go round and round. But this is the thing, all of these, people's revolutions and uprisings where they overthrow the government, it's all a plan. It's all contrived. And it's all just to keep the people in check so that when they get too upset with the government, well, the small hats just come in and change it, but they change it for another one of their people. So, this is why we can't rely on governments at all. We shouldn't be following anyone, right, except ourselves. And we've just got to understand that, it's your fellow men and women that are on your side, and the whole government, the structure, the elites, the hidden hand, whatever you want to call it, they're the enemy. It's not your neighbors, but they spend all their time trying to make us think it's our neighbors and not them. Again, it's a magician's trick, right? Look at what's happening in this hand. Don't look what's happening behind my back.
NVIDIA just showed us something that is terrifying.
The next wave of AI is physical AI. Everything is going to be robotic. All of the factories will be robotic. The factories will orchestrate robots, and those robots will be building products that are robotic.
Oh.
Robots interacting with robots, building products that are robotic. This isn't the future. This is happening now. Let me show you.
The robot doctor. But should it happen now? Every single AI or robot based film, there's an advert like that, and we're seeing it in real life. Robots working with robots to build robotic products. That sounds like a recipe for the end of the world. That is the beginning of every film where the robots take over. It's impressive, but have you ever stopped to think that maybe we're creating something we won't be able to control?
Somebody just spotted Skynet from Terminator. This for entertainment purposes only, gang. Only entertainment. What the fuck is this? Can I get an explanation on what the fuck is this? And for those who want to be more entertained, Skynet was basically the network system that was used inside of the Terminator. Yeah, they was so intelligent that they decided to shut it down, and when they tried to shut it down, Skynet declared war on the humans. Caused the nuclear war, killed like 3 billion people, I think. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, what the fuck is going on to where... Is it like a prank? I'm trying to see, is this shit a prank or some shit? Like, how would something out of the Terminator movie be used or be spotted in real life? My fucking head, like, I'm trying to see what the fuck going on for real. Hey, aren't you guys entertained with Skynet seeing this shit in real life? Yeah.
In 3 years, Cyberdyne will become the largest supplier of military computer systems. All stealth bombers are upgraded with Cyberdyne computers, becoming fully unmanned. Afterwards, they fly with a perfect operational record. The Skynet funding bill is passed.
Wow, truth in movies. Skynet and robots. And of course, the Terminator was an AI robot, right? Wrapped in human flesh. And that's what they're doing right now, right? They're developing these humanoid robots, and they are telling us they're going to put AI in them, and they're setting up the systems, and they're calling it Skynet. It's pretty creepy stuff. Yeah, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think they'll get away with it? I don't. I'm pretty sure that, well, I'm positive, right, that we win, and that most people are at a level of awareness now that they see what's going on, but that's just crazy, right? Actually calling it Skynet, but this is what they're doing. This is the future that they want. That they're basically building a world that they can control without many of us, right? We've all heard Mr. Gates, right? The Billy Goat say that he wants the population under 500 million. And is this how they're going to run everything, right? It's all going to be AI technology and robots and all this stuff, surveillance. This is where they're trying to march us. So we are at a critical point. So, again, right, just say no. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks for spending some time with me. Please do leave me your comments. What did you think about these videos? Of course, give me a like. Let's help get this video out. And if you're not subscribed, why not? Subscribe, hit the bell, all that stuff. Share the video around. And most importantly, stay awesome. And I'll talk to you all on the next upload. Bye for now.
Big stretch, Buzz.
Louie. Louie.
Louie.
Mommy, what are you doing?
Ah!